Merry readers, come cozy in. Let the story time begin with Robin and the Marys.
Hi Merry Readers! This is the continuation from my last video for September 26th for Chapter 10 of A Discovery of Witches Real-Time Reread. I'm going to just jump right in. Just a reminder that I've been feeling a little under the weather, so I will be reading off of notes that I typed up before this, just to remind myself so I don't miss anything. So thank you for bearing with me. I'm so happy to be getting these videos out, and I look forward to a wonderful discussion with you all. So, Chapter 10 is where everything blows wide open, family warning, sparks of uncontrolled magic, a betrayal by someone who's supposed to be an ally and a friend, and Peter Knox finally making his move. So Diana begins the chapter with a tense phone call with her aunts. Sarah immediately bristles at the news that Diana has been spending time with vampires and other creatures, while Em tries to calm her down. Diana admits she even went to yoga class with witches, vampires, and demons all together, a mixed circle where she felt for the first time some peace. Sarah explodes, warning her that vampires never protect witches, but Diana pushes back, saying that Matthew has been protecting her for days. Also, Em can see that there is a vampire between Diana and something else, but she's not quite sure what it is yet. The conversation turns to Ashmole 782. Diana shares that the book contained alchemical images and that it smelled wrong, tingled under her hands, and then relaxed when she touched it, and almost let out a sigh. Her aunts are furious that she returned it. Sarah insists that returning it resets the spell, meaning it has been bewitched by a very powerful witch. Diana realizes this resetting must have been the beacon that drew other creatures to her in the first place. Sarah urges her to come home and train properly, but Diana refuses, clinging to her independence. The next morning, Diana does yoga and drinks tea, turning to her mental game of laying facts out on an imaginary table to sort through puzzles, but this time Matthew's face keeps appearing. She suddenly realizes that this game has been magic all along, a power she's been using unconsciously for years. At the library, Miriam informs Diana that Matthew has gone hunting in Scotland and tosses her forgotten cardigan back at her with a sharp warning, stop putting Matthew in this impossible position. Shaken, Diana sits down and only for sparks of blue-green light to flicker at her fingertips, an eruption of magic she can't control. She then has a chilling confrontation with the wizard in tweed, Peter Knox. He introduces himself, acknowledges her lineage as Rebecca and Stephen's daughter, and offers to arrange things if she'll give him a private word. Diana rebuffs him, insisting he uses the request slips like everyone else. She can feel his danger radiating. Knox pushes harder, implying she doesn't understand what's at stake. After this, Diana decides to go around the rest of the library and try to get many of the creatures to leave because she's worried about the sheer number of creatures and drawing too much attention. So she goes over to the Scary Sisters, who are vampires, and the demon who has been lingering by her since day one, who likes to listen to music, and asks them to clear out their own kind. The demon repeats Agatha's point that demons deserve answers too, but the effect works, and the next day fewer creatures crowd the library. Still, danger lingers. Gillian corners Diana, trying to invoke sisterhood, but quickly turns cruel. She blames Diana's ancestor Bridget Bishop for Salem, falsely accusing her of sparking the witch trials. She then makes a darker claim that Diana's parents weren't killed by humans at all, but by witches, for betraying their own kind. Gillian insists that witches don't keep secrets, and those that do pay the price. Diana leaves rattled, with words from her father trying to come to the surface of her mind, but she can't quite access them. The day ends with an invitation from the warden, Nicholas Marsh, who invites her for drinks. Reluctantly, she accepts. At his home, he introduces her to his distinguished guest, Peter Knox. Panic sets in as Knox uses subtle magic. With a handshake, the warden is called away, leaving her alone with Knox. In private, Knox pressures her about Ashmole 782. He demands to know if she shared its contents with Matthew, accuses her of betraying her lineage, and insists the manuscript belonged to witches alone. He reveals its secrets, the first spells ever cast, the bindings of the world, and the origins of demons, and even the key to immortality. He warns that if she tries to summon it again, she might fail because she has no training, and it may have been an important date when she initially called it up that gave her the power to do it on that day. The warden returns, breaking the moment, and Diana excuses herself, but as she leaves, Knox's voice slides into her head, saying, "Be careful with Matthew Claremont, he's a killer. Ask him about 1859. Diana snaps back mentally. It's not a secret if you know about it. The battle lines are drawn, and Diana is in the middle of a storm she can't escape." So for my questions for this chapter, I have the setting. It's the phone call home with Diana in the first part of the chapter, which is in her own apartment. Then it's the Bodleian Library, which is filled with lots of creatures. And then there's the warden's house, of course. Characters, we have Diana, we have Miriam, Sarah and Em, we have Peter Knox, Gillian, and Nicholas Marsh, the warden, as well as the scary sisters and the one demon that Diana speaks with. So the historical and academic Easter eggs, Bridget Bishop in Salem is mentioned, Gillian's accusations twist real history into supernatural politics, and the alchemistry as imagery, tingling, glowing manuscript filled with symbols and secrets. Magic watch, Diana sparks. Diana has an instance where her fingers start sparking uncontrollably, and she mentions that the last time this happened, they had to call the fire department to put it out. So there's definitely more magic that she's using on a regular basis than she's aware of. The book's reset as being a beacon that called all the creatures to it when she returned it, and then Knox's mental intrusions again, which he's done with her before, and how it's subtle, but it's also very scary for Diana and feels like an immediate threat. The mood and tone, it's paranoid, claustrophobic, and there's an escalating tone to it where it feels like we're really building towards something. And it makes us feel like every ally is just really uncertain at this time, and all the truths are twisted with manipulations. So it's just a very interesting tone for this chapter. The symbols, we have the cardigan, which was left behind in Matthew's car, that Diana forgot the other night, and Miriam giving a warning that she's putting Matthew in an impossible position. The table games of memory, magic, and unconscious power that Diana's been using for years to solve problems. Knox's handshake, where he's able to do magic with just a flick of a finger to make a phone call happen that calls the warden away. And then the question of 1859, a new date of dread and wondering what that means for Matthew. Romance watch, Matthew is absent physically, which pulls at Diana a little bit throughout this chapter. And then Miriam's warning makes Diana feel worried about what is happening with Matthew as well, and between the two of them. Food and drink, she has tea again in the middle of this chapter. I didn't mention it in the summary, but she does go out to lunch, and Miriam follows her, and that's when she notices all of the creatures. So there is a little bit of food in this, but it's not really dwelled on very much. The overall vibe and strength of this chapter, this is a turning point. I think Diana sees that the lines are drawn in the sand now with her and the witches, and she can see that there's a desperation from all the creatures to know what's happening with Ashmole 782. So it's definitely an escalation point for the story. Foreshadowing, we have Knox's warning again about 1859, the aunt's anger and frustration, and foreshadowing that Matthew is standing between Diana and something, and then Gillian's betrayal proves that witches may be Diana's biggest threat in all of this. So my question that I'll leave everyone with to discuss in the comments is, if you were Diana, who would you trust less, Peter Knox with his manipulation or Gillian with her betrayals? So I look forward to hearing more. We won't have a video for a little while because the next day in the story isn't until September 30th, but I will see you back here then, and until then, I hope you enjoy. Have a good night. Bye.
So many readers, close your eyes. Let the stories lift and rise. Till next time, when lights will gleam, we're bright.